G'day, Professor Joseph Drew. I'm here to talk to you about the Great Bush Road Con, the most recent federal government proposal. Who's actually driving the agenda? It's got nothing to do with road safety, let me assure you, and where the money is for an effective solution. So the story from the ABC Online attracted my attention the other day, and I knew this one had been brewing for a while. And these are just screenshots, you can look it up yourself. So, lower speed limit plan to tackle alarming death toll on unsigned rural roads is a headline. And the story tells you that the federal government's proposing to reduce the speed limit to 80 kilometres per hour, and they somehow think that's going to reduce the death toll. Of course, it won't, as you will see in the next slide. The reason why we have an alarming road toll in rural Australia is because our roads are crap. I've driven in third world countries that have much better roads than what we have in rural Australia. It's just a fact. And if these bright little people from Canberra ever drove on rural roads, they would know that that is a fact, and that is the core problem at the foundation of the high death toll. If these people in Canberra, and our politicians we elected, ever drove on the rural roads, they would also know another fact. Everyone speeds. Because when you're travelling hundreds of kilometres between neat places, you need to speed. Otherwise, you will never get there. If our fine feathered friends in Canberra also drove on rural roads, they would know another fact. There's no enforcement. You never see a cop on a rural road. You never see a speed camera on a rural road because they can't get enough revenue out of the day's work. If there's no enforcement, people will continue to speed. You can set the speed limit at 5 kilometres per hour if it makes you happy, but it's not actually going to make any difference to the speed that people travel. It's not going to make any difference to the death toll because there's no enforcement. So do not kid yourself. This proposal has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the death toll. So what is driving it? Well, the thing that drives most public policy in Australia. Special interest groups and their greed. We vote for the politicians. It's their special interest groups that set the policy agenda. And I put an image up on the screen. I better not mention it. But obviously, if a speed limit is lower and people crash and it can be established that the person was speeding, insurance companies pay out an awful lot less money. So if we were really serious about the death toll on bush roads, we'd do something about the roads. They're absolute rubbish. And what's interesting here is that most people don't realise, you know that 50 something cents, I think it's 56 cents a litre excise, fuel excise you pay when you fill up your car. We fill up our car more often than most people out in the bush. Do you know what it amounts to? This is a snapshot of the Australian Tax Office website. In the 23 financial year, it was some $19.8 billion. And how much of that money is getting to local government? Because it's local government that builds and maintains 85% of the roads. It's local government that's maintaining these roads that are unsigned that they want to reduce the speed limit on. How much of that money that is going into consolidated revenue for the federal government, of that $20 billion, how much of it is hitting local government? Well, you can see the financial assistance grant 26 financial year figure for the local road component was just over $1 billion. You can see the other website shot from the government website saying that they're hoping to get the roads recovery funding up to $1 billion in the future. So at most, $2 billion are going to local councils to make our roads safe. The federal government, according to these data on their own government agency sites, is collecting around $20 billion. So ask yourself the question, where is the other $18 billion? It's not on bush roads. And if we cared about the death toll, the money would be spent in bush roads, and we'd have first world roads in a first world country where we charge first world taxes. But we're not interested in the death toll. We're interested in keeping our special interest groups happy. I really do get sick of this spin. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, send it on to someone else. Someone needs to be putting the facts out. I don't know why Australians don't understand that we're being totally duped and we're not running the show at all, and that no one's really interested in us. They're interested in themselves, their own interests, and their own greed. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.